Ms. Chappelle, you're a married woman who admits to having an affair, and now you say you have questions regarding your 5-month-old daughter's paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
Standing next to you is your father, Mr. Wells, and he doesn't want you to get the results today.
Yes, Your Honor.
He claims when you were a young girl, you learned that he was not your biological father, and that news had a devastating impact on your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Chappelle, you say you were elated when your wife told you she was pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then that joy turned to pain when she revealed that you may not be her baby's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
You admit you'll be heartbroken if today's test results prove your wife's lover is in fact the child's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Wells, why are you so adamant about not wanting them to have these results today?
Well, ma'am, I met her mother when she was pregnant about 3 months, and it just come to the point that, we made an agreement one time just to walk away from it. And it's the point that the granddaughter, I don't want to see her go down that road. Some things are better left unsaid, ma'am.
No offense, Your
Your
Honor.
Honor, it's about Leah and me. I need to find out if I'm the father or not. She has the right to know. I have the right to know. No, we can't go down the road 10, 20 years down the road and not knowing who her father is. She has the right to know.
And this court believes that every child has the right to know
Right, I understand.
who their parents are.
Absolutely.
I have to ask you, Ms. Chappelle, do you still want to proceed in light of your father's advice and recommendation?
Because no offense to him, it hurt me when I grew up not knowing who my dad was. And finding out when I was younger like that, it really tore me apart. My daughter doesn't deserve that. She deserves to know.
All right, Mr. Wells, please take a seat and let's proceed. So, please take me back. How did all of this begin?
Well, we met at a high school football game, and it was love at first sight. We got engaged 4 months later. We got married on Valentine's Day. We had a son together, probably about a year later. I started getting bored with our sex life. I kept telling him and telling him and telling him. I said I wanted to change it.
It takes 2 people.
Well, if I tell you that we needed to change it, because I wasn't happy sexually.
No, I'm working 40 hours a week. I'm trying to provide for you and my son.
Try something new. I'd be like, well, let's go get some handcuffs. Let's try something new. Let's change positions.
It's not all about that.
To do that.
No, it's not all about that.
Yes, it is.
I'm working every day.
It's communication in a marriage. When your wife tells you she's not happy like that, you should want to listen to her.
Okay.
Because that's what made me go and do what I did. And I found somebody that gave me what I needed sexually. Do I regret it? Yes, I do. I do regret it every day, but I don't regret my daughter. She's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
And so you admit to having an affair.
Yes, I did.
How did that start?
Well, he was a friend, and we started sexting, and I would hide it. We would send messages on Facebook. I'd drop my son off at the babysitter's. I would tell my husband I was going somewhere else. We would meet up. We met in his driveway at a hotel. I mean, we had sex, and it was what I wanted sexually. And I was so excited because this guy gave me what I wanted. He wasn't scared to go in there and jerk my clothes off and say, I want you like this. I want somebody to take control over me like that. I want that in my sex life, and I should be able to experience that with my husband, but we don't. He never wanted to change nothing.
What I want to understand is you were sleeping with both men during the window of conception.
Yes, ma'am.
Get to that.
Well, I have the calendar to show I had sex with both of them on the same day at one point.
Yeah.
Okay. Jerome, will you please hand me that evidence, please? Can't get any closer in proximity than that. So this is a calendar for the month of May.
Yes, ma'am.
In red, we have outlined the dates you were intimate with your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
In green, we have the days you were intimate with the other potential father.
Yes.
Which is inside the window of conception, which is outlined in pink here.
Yes, Your Honor.
So all of these dates are in close proximity.
Yes, Your Honor.
It would be literally impossible
I
to
even
know.
had her 2 weeks early, and that made the doubt even higher than what it was. Because they kept changing my due date, and I was going by the ovulation calculator to keep from getting pregnant. And I messed up the days, and that's when I got pregnant.
Were you having protected sex with the gentleman?
It was always unprotected sex. I figured he would pull out, but he never did. And I would tell him constantly, I don't want to get pregnant, I don't want to get pregnant, and he would never listen to me.
Your Honor, she had
Mr.
unprotected...
Chappelle, how does it feel to hear this? This is a lot of information.
It makes me sick.
And this is your wife?
Yeah, and I'm working 40 hours a week trying to provide for my family.
You know, I messed up, and you can't just blame it all on me, because it's a marriage. And I kept telling you I was unhappy, and you didn't want to listen to me.
Exactly, that's the magic
And that's what got us where we're at today.
Married.
And I'm sorry that I messed up, and I went and had sex with somebody else, but I think she has the right to know. And that's why we're here, and I'm sorry, but I kept telling you and kept telling you.
Yeah, but unprotected sex, you could have gave me something. You know, there's stuff out there you could have caught. There's more of it than being pregnant. You could have caught something and gave it to me.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chappelle, when she was pregnant, did you have any idea at that point whether this affair was going on, that if it was going on?
No, I had no idea.
You find out you're pregnant when you get news she's pregnant, you're excited because you think you're going to be a dad.
Oh, yeah. I was browsing on the internet, sitting at the computer, and she told me she was upset. And I was kind of wondering why she was upset. We're supposed to be happy. It didn't make sense to me.
So when she was upset, when she told you she was pregnant, did that ring a bell or did a light come on in your mind that said, uh-oh?
I really didn't think about it, but, you know, we did fight a lot. We argued a lot, but at the time I didn't know.
I tried to cover it up the best I could.
Okay. So you support her through the entire pregnancy?
Yes.
You go to doctor's visits?
Yes.
We tried to invite the other guy at first to
Well, I'm sorry.
He was okay with it at first.
Your Honor.
And I told him, I said, you know, this guy kept making excuses not to show up, and my husband, he's like,
Hold on. You said we tried to invite the other guy to come to the doctor's appointments with us?
Yes. Whenever I told him I was pregnant and we had gotten into an argument, we were on the way home from the zoo with our son. And we was in an argument. I was back in the back seat texting the other guy and telling him that we were arguing. And I was like, well, maybe I should just tell him the truth. Because they were both fussing with me. I was so stressed out. I told him, he said something to me, well, why don't you find somebody else? And I said, well, what if I have? And he's like, well, whose baby is that? And I said, I don't know. And he said, you messed up, you're a slut. And he was calling me names. And I was 6 weeks pregnant. And he's like, you need to get out of my house. So I had to go move in with my family. And the whole time, this other guy, he doesn't want me to tell my husband. He wants to keep everything a secret. And I couldn't do it anymore. And I told him right after Father's Day I was pregnant. And I was so upset because I didn't want to have to tell him, well, I don't know if she's yours or not. Because that's hard to tell somebody, but I wanted to be honest. I wanted to be the woman that's honest with
How do you think it's going to make me feel that, you know, she's pregnant by possible with another man? You know, how do you think it's going to make me feel?
But I made a mistake, and you shouldn't judge me for that if I'm honest with you.
I'm still stuck at we invited him to the doctor's appointment.
No,
Well, you invited your husband and the man you had an affair with to the doctor's appointments while you were pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Together.
Yes.
No.
Did he come?
No, he didn't.
No.
But if he was a chance he was the father, I wanted him to get to experience that too.
Your Honor, we're married. You know, I want to be the father. It wouldn't look good with two guys at the doctor's office. How often do you see two men at the doctor's office?
So at that point, it's clear.
Yeah.
When your wife tells you we might want to invite this man to the doctor's appointment,
No.
you know then.
Yeah.
There is no certainty whether or not you're this child's biological father.
How can we work out our marriage with another man at the doctor's office? I mean,
I understand that, but you have to look at it too. I was just trying to do the right thing for my little girl because I wanted her to know, well, if there's a chance somebody else can be my daddy, then why didn't you introduce him to me? When she's born and she gets older, I don't want somebody to say, well, you know what? He ain't your daddy. And she's going to be like, Mama, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that this is happening? I don't
But
want
while she's in the womb,
I know.
she probably doesn't know whether two men are there at the doctor's appointment. And look, you know, Ms. Chappelle, given what you've been through and your father has attested to the fact that you grew up and you had to endure this kind of pain of learning the man you believed was your father was not your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand.
Your Honor, I went to his house, and I was going to meet him man to man, face to face, and he wouldn't even come out. He looked out the window. And if he really wanted to be with my wife, why didn't he come meet me man to man outside?
Well, the question was, he did want to be with your wife sexually.
Right.
Look, my granny always said, the grass always looks greener on the other side, but you got to be careful because there could be a river or a lake. What happened was, it looked good on the other side with this man.
Right.
It seemed fun. He was doing all the things you wanted him to do, sexually. And yet, when it was time for him to deal with the consequences, he's not available. Yeah. He doesn't want to come to the appointments. Your own husband goes to talk to him and say, yo, man, let's figure out what's going on. We got a situation. He's not even man enough to have a conversation.
I couldn't get no response from him. A couple days later, I went back to his house. I informed his wife what was going on.
Oh, you all didn't say this other man was married.
Yeah.
No wonder he was conveniently absent.
I even told his wife what was going on. I sent her a message on Facebook. Yes.
So, you sent his wife a message?
Yes, I have it right here.
Jerome, let me see that.
I told her that I didn't want nothing from him.
This is your message to the wife.
Yes.
The truth is we did mess around and he might have a baby, but I never wanted anything from him. I know it's a hard thing to take in and to think about, but I think you should know the truth.
Yes.
Did you get a response?
No, she blocked me on Facebook. She didn't want to accept the fact of what he was doing behind her back, and I didn't think that was right.
And
because I was honest in my marriage.
You were
I did come out, everything he asked me about my affair, I did come out and tell him.
So now listen, Mr. Chappelle, at some point you say you went to the house.
Yes, Your Honor.
Talked to this wife.
Yes, Your Honor.
And told her what was going on.
Yes, Your Honor.
And her response, she still didn't believe you?
She didn't believe me. She said that they didn't do anything. I said, you'll find out.
So, tell me about the birth of the baby. Did the man show up?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so just you were there, Mr. Chappelle.
Yes.
I have pictures when she was first born. She didn't really she looked like the other guy, but then she had pictures of my husband too.
Your Honor, I had the same feelings for her as I did for my son when she was born. She had blonde curly hair like I did. You know, everything was all good. I thought, you know, she was mine.
And this is a picture of the baby.
That's when she was first born.
And you. When you saw her for the first time, did you look at her and say, I wonder, does she look like me?
I saw the blonde curly hair and it kind of gave me excitement about it because I knew I had blonde curly hair when I was a baby, and I was happy about it.
Ms. Chappelle, how did you feel?
When I first saw her, I thought that she kind of looked like the other guy, but they both had blonde hair when they were younger, so that's what gave us like the doubt. When she got older, her eyes started becoming more blue.
And that's when you started
having doubts.
Having doubts.
Nobody on his side of the family has blue eyes, and I'm not really sure on my side of the family if they have blue eyes, but she still got the same eye shape as my husband.
You feel like you see a similar eye shape?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what do you have to present, Mr. Chappelle?
I have a birth certificate. I was on it when she was first born.
And you signed the birth certificate?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to be the father of her. You know, I was happy.
So despite your doubts, you signed the birth certificate, acknowledged paternity, and truthfully, a child born within a marriage, you're presumed to be this child's father anyway under the
It's holding a
law.
lot of weight on my shoulders. I need to find out, you know.
When she was 2 months old, the other guy agreed to do a test, but then he just disappeared.
No contact.
No contact. He is completely like wiped everything to where you can't reach him at all.
All right. You've heard your father's position, and you know this court's position, that we do believe every child deserves to know who their parents are. All right. Jerome, I think it's time for the results. Thank you. I have no idea what's in this envelope. I learned the results along with you. When I tell you, I'm finding them out for the first time myself. And I just need to ask you, do you want to know what's in this envelope?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
If she doesn't come out to be his, I'm really sorry. And I'm going to have to live with that for the rest of my life. But I know she'll always have you as her daddy. And I'm hoping and praying that he comes out to be her dad. Because I love him.
Mr. Chappelle, is there anything you'd like to say to your wife?
If she is mine, you know, we'll just go home, throw a big old party. But if she ain't mine, I don't know if we can let this marriage carry on.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Chappelle versus Chappelle, when it comes to 5-month-old Leah Chappelle, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Chappelle, you are not her biological father.
Why'd you do this for?
I'm so sorry. I really am.
I'm still going to be there for her.
That's exactly what this court wanted to hear. Now, Ms. Chappelle, this is a generational curse that you have got to break right now, because the effects of your mistake can be your child going through the exact same thing you did. You don't want that. With that said, I wish the both of you so much luck.